Anyways, I am back. Just mixing up the G Fuel. But anyways, yeah. Just like I talked about in yesterday's video, I have pulled probably close to I ended up pulling about 14 games from my Switch collection, because these are ones that are kind of obscure and also are kind of hard to find if you don't know where to look. And I'll talk about all of that, like where I bought them, how you can get them, stuff like that. There's no particular order. Some of them I did get from Amazon, and others I got from PlayAsia. So I'm just pulling up the ones from that I have all already. Like I said, some of them are PlayAsia. Some of them are, most of them I would say are PlayAsia. Some of them are Amazon, and some are eBay. So let's go through all the ones from PlayAsia here. So we have, and I'll also be looking at talking about what the genre is as well. So first one we have is Death Road to Canada. Yes, this is actually a PlayAsia exclusive. Physically, that is. You can get it digitally for other consoles. And it wasn't too expensive. It's about 24 bucks on PlayAsia right now. This is one of the ones that I ordered initially. So yeah, so you can find it on PlayAsia. There is another site that I've used before called Video Games Plus. They have some of the PlayAsia exclusives. This one I ordered directly from PlayAsia. The genre is action, I guess. There is also, yeah, no. Some of these games do have alternate versions, meaning some of them might be a Japanese version but have English. This one is from Asia. So I'll talk about those as well. Next, we have, actually, let me do this if I can find it here. Yes, here it is. So this is technically, well, technically I shouldn't even have this in my hand right now. Because, and this is the main reason why I imported a bunch of stuff from PlayAsia. So I imported this, I'm looking at the purchase date, Christmas Day in 2024. So I've had this game for over 2 years now, and I've played a little bit of it. This is I can't remember the exact reason, so I'm just gonna So it unfortunately it has been basically blacklisted. It was originally slated for a North American release when this game came out in 2024. So I bought it actually pretty much after launch, actually. A couple days after launch, because the basically the rules or the requirements from Nintendo US basically had changed what was allowed to be on their consoles, basically. And so this, unfortunately, is the censored version. There is an uncensored PC version, which I'm just now going to see how much it is, because if it's actually relatively cheap, let's say like $10 or something. Ooh, it's a little bit more than I was thinking it is. So the standard edition is right now $41.25, whereas the deluxe edition is $51.75, so $52 basically. So it'll be about $60, unfortunately. And this is the I think this is the um, 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 I think this might actually be the censored version. Let me just check here. Store. So I'm looking right now at Video Games Plus. Why can't I? Sorry, not Video Games Plus. Yeah. GOG, which is the one by CD Projekt Red. Or so yeah. This is I believe an uncensored version, I believe, but still a little bit more than what I want to pay for it. So what I ended up doing was, this was before it was released for PC. I ended up actually ordering it for Switch. So this is an import exclusive. Yeah. So I have played a little bit of it. I might next week do a video in this, but I will have to age restrict it, unfortunately. I hate having to age restrict stuff, but with this game, I might end up having to do that. But yeah, I have played a little bit of it. There is another. Here it is. I'm actually going to go to do 2 games next, because this is actually a bit of a series, actually. Oh, and Tokyo Clan Pool, in terms of genre, is a dungeon RPG, by the way. So these two are disorder. Yes. So these two I bought during they had a bit of a deal on in January of last year, where basically it was 3 games for $100. And this was a very expensive order. So there's still 2 other games that I have from this order that are on the shelf, but I only pulled 2 of them. So one of them is called Panic in Sweetsland, which is you can't even buy it anymore. It's completely sold out. And it is a beat 'em up. The other one that's in that same order, which is on the wall behind me, is a shoot 'em up. And that one is called Made of the Dead, which I've not actually played. The 2 I have here, and the reason why I pulled them is because there is a Switch 2 version of them as a double pack coming, I think, sometime this year, actually, which I am looking at getting. And it is there it is. Yeah, so it's coming out. Actually, it's coming out fairly soon. Actually, and it is. Yeah, so it combines basically the 2 games that I have here into one one version, into one case, which is nice. Whereas right now, if I want to do it, it's kind of hard. So I know that there is another game that is coming. Oh, wow, it's already out of stock. Wow, okay. There we go. I completely forgot that the Switch 2 version of Lollipop Chainsaw was already out. I thought it was coming out later, but I guess it's already out. And unfortunately, I missed it. But I know they'll get more in stock. This is Video Games Plus. So yeah, so for Gun Vault Chronicles Limitless Adventure IX and IX2, which I have here below the camera, you can also get it on regular Switch, so Switch 1 and PS5. I'm going to be looking at getting it for Switch 2. Oof, that's already an expensive order. So I have some stuff right now in my cart from Video Games Plus where I'm trying to think, was any of this stuff from Video Games Plus? No. A lot of this stuff was not from them. I do have a lot of stuff from Video Games Plus in that Switch collection. But this is not. This stuff was not from them. This stuff was either imported or bought from other sites. So, yeah, like I said, so this order that I'm looking at right now for 3 games, it's about $200 for 3 games. So we have R9 Rip, which is a visual novel, I believe. Let me just pull it up here. I believe it is a visual novel. Unfortunately, Video Games Plus doesn't really tell you what the genre is. So this is, yeah, it's basically a visual novel. And I do have its sequel as well, and then obviously I have Gunvolt Chronicles. So it's funny how expensive some of these games are. Like R9 RIP is $70. Its sequel is 70, and Gunvolt Chronicles IX and IX2 is 60. Kind of expensive. So, like I said, here are both of them right here. And I ordered them for the 4th of January of last year, and they were shipped on the 14th of February last year. Yeah, so they, I think if I go into tracking, well, since they were already arrived, the tracking number has expired. So yeah, so I have played a little bit of X, Luminous, well, Gunvolt X, and in terms of the genre, they are action games. What do we have next? Let's do, yeah, let's do another visual novel. I'm just trying to find the order for it right now. Is it this one? Yes, this is. Haha. So I have a couple more visual novels actually in here. Let me pull that up as well because it was actually in the same order. So I typically wait. Did I? Yes, I did. Okay. Oh, I did grab Panic and Sweets. This is what it looks like. This is the cover for it. Which we might play at some point next week. I thought I didn't grab it, but I did. There are some games, like when I'm looking at games, like primarily visual novels, like in terms of like the obscure ones, like the two that I have below me, plus another one I have, I tend to try to grab them before they go massively stupid in price. So like for example here, let's just go to price charting here for a second here, and we do Nightshade, which is one of the visual novels that I have, and for some reason it's not showing up. Oh, that's why. Because I had it set to US or NTSC region. So this game, typically just the cartridge is around $100. Well, around $90 just for the cartridge. So this is fully complete, right? So this is how it came. There's nothing, no paperwork, no nothing. This complete is around $100, and I paid $82.46 for it. So I paid basically under market at the time. So I have no, I haven't actually played this one. I've played the other one that I have sitting below. But again, with certain visual novels and certain games in general, I tend to grab them or want to grab them before they just go boop, straight up in price. The other one that is in that same boat, actually was in this same order, is Steam Prison. And it typically sells for Um, Typically sells for um, just a cartridge is around around $68 just for the cartridge. This one we did play a little bit of on the channel, and then I switched to a different game. So just this little tiny cartridge right there is basically $70. Complete, you're looking at again around $100. I did not pay $100 for this. Oh no, I did actually. I paid a little bit over. Yeah, I paid just a little. I paid around market for it. But again, there is a sequel to this. There is a sequel to it. And ironically, the sequel is actually selling, at least at the time of recording, for about $54 right now, complete. So that is one that I am looking at getting into the collection, so then I have its sequel. The other one that I want to talk about is this one. This one, this one has a bit of a weird sort of backstory to it. And again, it is somewhat expensive. This one is somewhat expensive. I'm just pulling up the. I wish I could pull up the Wikipedia article for it. There we go. I think I found the Wikipedia. There it is. And of course it's all in Japanese, and I can't read Japanese. There you go. So, yeah. So basically, this is a bit of a weird. Yeah. So it came out on PS4 and Switch. So I have it for Switch, and I paid a little bit above what they're selling for right now. So right now, cartridge only is about $34. Complete, you're looking about $69, roughly. Yeah, there's no paperwork in it like a manual or whatever. And this one took me forever to get. So I had originally, unfortunately, started ordering the wrong version. I ended up ordering the Japanese version. I needed to order the Asian version because I needed it to have English. I needed it to have English, whereas the Japanese version doesn't have English. So yeah. So this one was about $95 at the end of the day. So that's including shipping, which was about $12, just under $12 in shipping. Which is not too terrible actually. So I ordered this actually around this time last year actually. So I ordered it June 29th of last year, and I knew ordering from PlayAsia takes anywhere between a week and a half to 2 weeks to ship. Well, that time had come and gone. And I typically do not send an email to whoever I've ordered from, be that PlayAsia, Video Games Plus, a seller on eBay. unless something has taken a little bit longer than what they said it was going to take. I have done it once with Video Games Plus because I thought something had broken in terms of shipping. Basically, it ended up being that they hadn't shipped it, whereas the shipping company said that they had to cancel the shipping due to basically an incomplete shipping address. It ended up being a glitch. So I ended up ordering it off of Amazon, paying basically express shipping to get it here the next day. So I ended up with 2 copies of the game. I traded one off last year, and then I also gave the other copy to a buddy of mine. So this visual novel, so like I said, I ordered it around this time last year. It did not ship out until August 7th of last year. And you might be wondering why. Well, unfortunately, they had no copies of the specific version in stock, being the Asian version, because I needed it to be in English. And there was also some other background. They had some background stuff that sort of needed to be taken care of, which I know what it was at the time, and obviously I'm not revealing it. They had some stuff going on that needed to be taken care of. So they basically said, "Hey, sorry for the delay. We are working on finding another supplier to ship it out as quick as possible." So yeah, it didn't arrive until like late August, early September to me. This is again, I think this one is a straight up. Yeah, so this is a visual novel. So right now, so they have the Asian version in stock, and they also have the Japanese version in stock. So like I said, I do have the Asian one. So because, like I said, I need it to have English. Any game I order from PlayAsia or eBay or something has to have English if it's an import. In some sort of capacity, right? Like it could be English subtitles or be fully playable in English, right? This one is playable in English with English subtitles, and it is actually expensive. It is right now as of time of recording, it is $92 and basically $92. And so I was lucky when I bought it. So this game for me has actually gone up in price. They're right now, when I bought it, it was $88.15, but at the end of it with shipping and everything, it was basically 95 bucks. So yeah, again, if you guys want me to play some visual novels, I can. I have a ton. Then we have again, I'm going to do a double pack because I bought they were bought this way. Give me 1 second. Anyways, I'm back. So these next 2 are not from PlayAsia. They are from Super Rare Games out of Europe. Yeah, so they're out of England actually. And there has been some stuff that I have thought about buying from them again. The problem is they are very, very expensive because I have to get them in from Europe. I have looked to see if if Video Games Plus has them. but yeah, I've not actually seen anything if they have them. So these two, because it was a double pack, and this was just a standard version. Um, they they are completely sold out. They only I think made 3,200 copies. So I have numbers 107 and 108, I think. And they were about $100, actually more than $100. And they have all the DLC as well. Um, I'm just trying to see what they would be. Oh, so it's basically a dating sim, basically, according to what the site is showing. Um, Let me see um, if what PlayAsia says about them. I'm not sure if you can even get them from PlayAsia. I haven't even looked. Control V. No, you can't. Okay. Um, so, um, so, uh, um, so let's. I'm going to go through Nintendo. Um, Give me a moment here. So you can get them digitally. Um, so they are. Um, hmm, Interesting. Um, According to Nintendo, um, yeah, so it's basically a dating sim. Um, I've not played them. I wanted to get them before they were A, sold out, and B, very, very expensive. Not saying that they weren't expensive before. Like I said, they were well over $100. Um, Let me see what I paid for them. I paid. Um, so I ordered these August. Wait. Sure. So yeah, so it was delivered on August 29th of last year, and I ordered these on the 19th. So yeah, so a couple days. So it was quite expensive, if I remember correctly. Shipping was about £13. So, uh, just the shipping alone uh was about $22 roughly in shipping. So the total price with shipping, and I did have to pay import on them, but I can't remember how much I paid. Yeah, so just these two games alone, minus import, was about $127. Yeah. So I was looking at probably around like 140, 150 just for these two games. So yeah, uh they are expensive. Like I said, They are completely sold out now. If you want me to play them, I can. I have them, obviously. You can get them, like I said, digitally. Um, but they are um you'll have to buy the uh um you'll have to buy the DLC separately. And the DLC, so right now the base game is right now $6 Canadian. So it's 75% off right now. The DLC um DLC is around $7-8. What's that? 3, 4. Yeah, it's around $8, $8 or $9. But luckily, I have all of the DLC on the cartridge because I have them physically. Like I said, there has been some stuff from Super Rare that I have looked at, but like I said, a lot of this time I do, yeah. So they're already shipping. Um, so what I probably will do is I probably won't buy a lot from them just because again shipping's expensive and um, um, and um, I have to pay import, which is kind of unfortunate in terms of the import side. But like I said, I can play them if you guys want me to. They're fully complete. They have all the manuals and everything. The one game I don't have, which I wish I did have, is um, um, Doki Doki on Switch. I don't have it yet. I've been meaning um, to buy it on Switch for a while. Let me actually double check that. If I even have it. Because I probably might have bought it at one point. Let me just quickly zip through my um there's some stuff in here that I have that's not showing. Okay. Um yeah, it looks like I don't have it on Switch. I know I have it on PC and um PS5. Let me actually see how much it is on Switch. Um So the next few games will be from eBay. Um, um, wait, yes, there it is. I went into the wrong app. I went into Switch Online. Switch. So Yeah. Doki Doki Literature Club. Yeah, it's not super cheap right now. It's only 30% off. And I have it on, like I said, PC and PS5. Um, so yeah, I'll be back in a sec. I just need to deal with something upstairs. Sorry about that. I did have to just pop up for a minute, just to deal um, with the dogs. Um, so yeah, I do apologize. So this one is this one was quite expensive. This next one I'm about to show. It is one of the more expensive ones that I have in the collection. The Grisaya trilogy, which is what I have below. So I ordered this January 11th of last year, and it arrived February 11th. So it took a month, and it was expensive. So I paid um, at the time, I paid $63 US for it because it was $62.60, which is about $89 Canadian for it. Then I had import on top of it. So the total was $110.80. So I can figure out exactly how much the import was by taking the final number minus the conversion. So 10.80 minus 88. Yeah, it was about $22 of import to get it in to finish off the deal basically. So this is kind of a very, very expensive one. But again, I did want to get it before it gets very, very expensive, and it is already very expensive. So yes, I could have grabbed it digitally for about 70, around 70, around $80. But again, I like to have things physically. This is again, it doesn't tell me the genre of it. Unfortunately, sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. So this is, yeah. So it has the Fruit of Grisaya. So Grisaya, so it has all three games in it. And so this came out in I'm just trying to find it here because there's so many different variations of it. So it came out in November 7th of 2019. So it is kind of a hard one to find. But if you want to go via price charting, There it is. Found it. Finally. So just the cartridge only, as of time of recording, it's around $86 just for the cartridge. And complete, which this is fully complete, is around $116. So I paid just under, well, just under market for it. Even the box alone is like $50 just by itself. So it is kind of an expensive one. And then the next two, again, because I bought these together, and again, I do know when I bought them. I think I bought them in 24. I think. Let me just check here. Yes, I did buy them in 24 because I bought these actually off of Amazon. So these two games are the first import games I bought ever. Not just for the Switch, ever. Because I typically, most of the consoles I had at the time growing up, and even now, were region locked, meaning that I could only play US or North American based games. That was until I bought my Switch in 2023, which I no longer have my Switch because I traded it in last year for this guy, or at least towards this guy. So this is the Switch 2, which I've now officially have had for over a year. So these were some of the more expensive games to get a hold of. Because we look at the yeah, there we go. So these are I have played the first one a little bit on the channel. Oops. And they are if we go to Steam here, because they'll tell me what the genre is, hopefully. Genre, yeah. So these are casual indie games, and they were released June 6th of 2019. At least according to according to according to Steam here. And like I said, these were not cheap. And typically, when it's a game within a series like Halo or whatever, I typically buy one and then I'll play it and then buy the next, and all that sort of stuff. With this, I had a bit of a different mindset because I'm thinking, okay, I can find the first one on Amazon. How easy is it for me to buy the second? And luckily, the seller that had the first game also had the sequel. And I'm like, I'm just going to buy the sequel because I don't know how often I'll be able to find the sequel. I don't know if PlayAsia will have it. So they apparently do have the sequel, but they no longer have the first game. They only have the sequel, which is Food Girls 2 Civil War. And according to PlayAsia, they came out April 28th of 2022 for Switch, and it is a visual novel. And like I said, they are not cheap. So I paid together, and I also had to pay shipping. Nope, I didn't have to pay shipping. Thankfully. So, and they did unfortunately take a little bit of a longer time to get to me. Even though they were already within the country, they took about a month or so to get here. So I ordered these November 9th of 2024, and I was expecting them to be here around mid to late November. Well, at the time, Canada Post, who handles all of our mail here in Canada, decided to basically say, F you, we're going on strike. And basically the strike lasted right as these were being shipped. I was like, oh God. So I sent the seller a note on Amazon to say, hey, by the way, there's a strike going on. And basically Amazon sent me an email back saying, hey, you can't do that. I'm like, God damn it. So I was really torn at the time to buy them from eBay. Both of them from eBay. Yes, I would have had to pay a little bit more, but at least in theory, I wouldn't have had the shipping problem, like delivery problem. Well, they arrived like right before, like basically late December. So, and like I said, these were not cheap. So total price, including taxes, was $158.14 for both of these, which makes each game $79.07. So, kind of pricey for a couple of visual novels. But it is what it is. And then we have the last game I ordered pretty recently, actually, almost about 20 days ago. I did this order from eBay because I looked at what it would be from PlayAsia, which I could have done, but I didn't do it from PlayAsia because I knew it would be about a couple week ship minimum, so I wouldn't have it until July, late July, sometime in July, maybe even August. And I probably would have had to pay some import. So I thought, okay, I'll go through eBay. And there's something that, if you can see that little, where is it here? Right there, that silver thing. Let me grab that and I'll explain why. I also grabbed the full order from eBay, which is the Switch game that I have, as well as another game as well, because there's a bit of a weird story to it. And I also grabbed one of my limited run games as well, because it works with the other console as well. So, yeah, let's do the limited run one first. So, I had been looking at this game for quite a while. I would say like at least a couple of months. And I've been looking at this game for a couple months. So this is Shantae Advance Risky Revolution, and this is the Video Games Plus exclusive variant. So instead of the purple cartridge that this would typically be, this is red. It's a red cartridge, which is sitting in the shelf over there. And it was $91.52. So $92 for that for a brand new Game Boy Advance game in 2025, basically. Came out in 25, but I didn't buy it until basically May of this year because at the time it was on sale. I don't know if it's still available. I know at the time, yeah, so it is still, they are still available. So you can get it for PC, PS5, PS4, and Game Boy Advance with both variants. So I ended up going with the exclusive variant, which is the red cartridge, whereas the standard one is purple, and the artwork is slightly different. Slightly different. So they were $89.99 a piece, right? And I paid what did I pay for it? I paid $80.90. So it's basically 10% off. So yeah. And luckily it does work with the DS Lite that I have. This is the one from Japan, which is why there's a copy of Pokemon White in it. Yeah, so I bought this back in January of this year because I wanted to be able to play Game Boy games. Because at the time, I didn't have, well, a Game Boy Advance. In this case, DSP. So, but back to the Switch game here. So, I was looking at it on PlayAsia, roughly doing the math, and I'm like, okay, it's $52. Well, it would take about a week or so minimum for them to even ship out the item. Then another week to a week and a half for delivery, and I'll probably have to pay import. So instead of it being $52, it would probably be more like $80 or something like that. So I thought, okay, let me go through eBay. Granted, I did pay a little bit more for it. I paid about $62, but I didn't have to pay any import. But at the same time, I also ordered a legit copy of Pokemon Yellow. So this is a legit copy of Pokemon Yellow. Everything checks out. Has the correct date on the back. It has the battery, and it uses the proprietary screw. So this is a legit cartridge. And it was a little expensive. It was $33 for the cartridge, which is actually pretty reasonable considering a North American cartridge is around basically $80 plus. So saving a little bit of money there. I do at some point want to get a US cartridge, but we'll see what happens. They are expensive and kind of hard to find. I have one right now in my cart from Europe, but I'm looking at about around $102 for it, and I'm just like, oh, do I really want to spend $102 on it? There's one here that I'm looking at, which might be a little bit cheaper. Let me see. So if like I said, I'm just looking right now at getting a US version. If we say save for later, how much? Yeah, I'm looking at $124 because I have to pay shipping. But anyways, this Switch game. We did play a little bit of a couple days ago. And I also bought it on sale on Xbox. Yeah, so if I sign out here, and I want to see if it's on sale, which it is. So this doesn't have any of the DLC, by the way. The Switch version doesn't have any DLC. Considering it's a Japanese version, and if I do want any of the DLC, which there isn't much, there's only I think 3 things of it. So it's basically the Seasons Pass is the only thing that would kind of interest me. But it's basically a couple quests and stuff like that. I'm looking actually at the Xbox list here. So it came out August 8th of 2024. And I just bought the standard version. Yeah. So this version to get a physical of do exist, but you'll have to import it either through eBay or PlayAsia. North America doesn't have a physical version. They only have a digital version. So, like I said, this was about $62. So this plus this, so these 2 games was about $95 Canadian, or $66.49 US, right? That's expensive for 2 games. But it is what it is. And you might be wondering, you said that you have it on Xbox. I do. I have the deluxe edition of this game, which is that time I got reincarnated as a slime, Isekai Chronicles. This is just the Switch version of it. And it was actually pretty cheap. Actually, it's still pretty cheap. So right now on Xbox.ca, it's about $18.69. So let's say $19. So you would be looking at $21.12 with tax. At least that's what it is for where I live. So yeah, so you get the base game, you get the season pass, and you get the bonus side quest called bonus side quest collection shopping, whatever that really means. So it is playable on Xbox One and Series S and X. So I did want to get it before it jumped off of sale. So this game typically, this deluxe edition on Switch, is typically about $93.49. So you would be looking at well over $100. And I paid $21.12 for it because it was $74.80 off. So very, very happy. So unfortunately, why I grabbed the DS Lite here is you would think that since it has the Game Boy slot, Game Boy Advance slot, it should be able to play Game Boy games, right? Nope, it doesn't fit. So literally the day that these 2 games arrived, yeah, literally they arrived on the they arrived Monday, June 22nd. So what's that, like 4 days ago? Yeah, 4 days ago. They arrived on Monday. I ordered this. If you don't remember what this is a Game Boy Advance SP. So we're talking 23 years ago. This thing was new at the time. This unfortunately is scratched to hell, which is fine. I don't really care. Everything works on it. It did come with a charger and a couple extra games. And this is a US version. So I was expecting to pay well above $200 for the console, and I didn't. So it was the console, a charger, and two games, which are Over the Hedge, excuse me, and Yu-Gi-Oh! Sacred Cards. So I paid about almost $188 for everything. But the reason why I needed this, not because I wanted it, I needed it because if I ever get Game Boy games and stuff like that, I need a way to play them, right? So, unfortunately, this board doesn't look great. It's decent, but there is some corrosion and stuff on it, but I can fix that if I need to. Is slide it in, and it fits. Yes, it does stick out, but if we do... I'm just making sure the volume is down, yes. We do this. Game Boy, it reads up. Says Nintendo. Oh. That's the problem with cartridges of this era, is that there's always dust and crap on them. There we go. There we go. Loads up perfectly well. There's the intro, there's the Pikachu load screen, Hoppip, Surfing Pikachu, just letting it load. Boom. And to prove it actually works, if we hit that, and then that, and then that. Yep, there you go. We're in the first area. So, oops. Back. Yes. So, luckily enough, I have played enough Pokemon to sort of understand Japanese. The only real problem is that there is some marks on the screen, on the lens. And you might be wondering, are you going to do a shell swap on it? No, because I don't really care. The only reason why I would consider doing a shell swap is if there was major cracks in the hinge or somewhere on the body, but there isn't. It's only like minor scratches, like it being like tossed around in like a bag or something like that. I can't really feel them at all, so I don't really care. But I was super happy to be able to get one for under 200 bucks for North America. And the good thing about the Advanced SPs is that they're region free. So, and the other funny thing is, it arrived super quickly. So, like I said, I ordered this on Monday night. It was here on Wednesday. Yeah, it was here on Wednesday. Yes, I paid a little bit more than I wanted to. I wanted to pay around 120, 130 was sort of where I wanted to pay. But at 188, basically 187.82, I'm like, okay, it's coming with a charger and two games. So I'm like, the charger alone is kind of expensive. I don't know actually how much the charger is. The charger alone is around $50 15 to 20 bucks for an OEM one. And a lot of the ones I was looking at weren't OEM or didn't even include a proper charger. And what I mean by that, let me actually grab the charger. So here's the charger. This is the OEM charger. So this is the exact same charger that the original DS used back in the day. A lot of the ones that I was looking at just from Japan, because I didn't know if the Advance was reading free or not, were basically a cable, a USB cable, not with this plug on the end. It's just a standard USB. Like, I have one plugged into my computer right now because I'm charging my phone with it. It was this type of end, but to this this end basically. So it was this to this, and I'm like, oof, that is that is a little sketchy, because when you're talking about, and yes, I know it's not very high power and stuff like that, doesn't take a lot of power, but when you're paying well over $100 or more, you kind of expect the legit charger. Like, this is an OEM one. It says it's Nintendo branded. Has a product code on it. So yeah, it literally says Game Boy Advance SP on the actual top side of it. So this is an official charger. For some reason, I thought they were like sort of a gray silver. This one ended up being black. But the funny thing is, and the reason why I say funny, is because more than 15 years ago, probably around 20 years ago, or give or take, I sold mine with the charger and all the games I had, this exact color, actually, to a buddy of mine. And you might be wondering, oh, why did you buy one from eBay? Could you just rebought yours back? I did kind of think about that, but the problem is I don't have any contact info for him. And even if I did, I'm not even sure if he still even has it. So I didn't want to go down that route, unfortunately. So I just said screw it and bought one. But the nice thing is, it is the exact same color that I had, like I said, 15, 20 years ago. Yeah, so that is all of the sort of the obscure games that I have for the Switch. I do also want to talk, considering, like I said, it is now a full year that I've had the Switch 2. I also want to talk about some of the games that I have for Switch 2. Some of them are, actually all of them are digital, except for one. Actually, no, except for two. Um, I actually forgot to put one in here, because what I'm doing is I'm actually keeping track of all of the Switch games that I have, because I've sold a lot off over the last year or so, and I sort of want to track what I have. So like I said, oh, this is, yeah, so let me grab the two that I have. I'm just putting in the last one. Oops. I'm just putting in the last one right now. What is it called? Oh my god, I hate Nintendo sometimes where they don't put in the genre of what it's called. So let me grab the two that I have physically. Actually, there's three that I have. But the third one for some reason I didn't put down. I'll be back in. There we go. So we're going to start off with the Game Key ones first. I only have two of them. And we're going to start off with FC 2026. This is actually the first EA game I have for Switch, I think. Yeah. And also the first sports game I've bought since, I would like to say NHL 19, I would like to say. Give me a second here to check that. But I believe it was the first one since NHL 19 on Xbox. I also do have Mass Effect Trilogy as well, but not on Switch. That's PS5. Well, technically PS4, but they're compatible. It's not loading up. But yeah, so I picked this game up alongside Dragon Age, the Veilguard for PS5. I did do a bit of a trade to get them at a somewhat reasonable price because I knew that they were going to be expensive. So I traded off Soul Hackers. Soul Hackers, I think it was two. I think I can double check that. Persona 5 Royal, even though I had just bought it last year, like October, with another game that's in the stack below me. I wasn't really playing it, and I have it digitally. So that was $20 of trade, and then I also traded off Kena Bridge of Spirits, and then the one I kind of regret now is Star Wars Heritage, but I did get a very good trade value for it. So it was $28 is what EB Games' sort of trade calculator for that day said. But in reality, I got $56. So I almost made what I paid for it back. So I got $56 for that. So total trade was $90 in trade. So the two games. So, and these were well, this was brand new. So this was in the shrink wrap, whereas Dragon Age Veilguard was used. Both were same price, $39.99 each. So 75, basically $76. And I still had some trade credit initially as well. I think I had like $24 in trade or something like that. So I now have over $30 in trade, which is quite nice. So this game plus Veilguard basically costed me nothing in hindsight. I haven't really played this. I do technically own it through PlayStation Plus, but I know I'm going to be canceling my PlayStation Plus in January. So I thought, you know what? I still want to play it. I still want to try it. So buy it on Switch, even though it is a stupid game key. But hey, it is what it is. And then I also picked up uh, uh, this is Game Key, English, Switch 2. I paid like nothing for this one. So this was a weird one for me. Because this one, what is, I'm just trying to, make sure I'm putting in everything correct here. Okay. So, yeah, I paid pretty much nothing for this game. So, I was kind of interested in Star Wars Outlaws, but I didn't really want to spend um, what PlayStation was asking for it. So I picked it up on Switch 2. It was $30 off at the time. So instead of it being $79.99, it was $30 off. Shipping was about free shipping, thankfully. So the total price was $56.49. But I had a $50 Best Buy gift card to knock off $50. So in the end, this new game, granted it's not new, like it's been out for a while. I didn't buy it day one, obviously. I bought it this year, so about 2 years old. Yeah, about 2 years old. Well, almost 2 years. September 4th of last year is when it came out, and I bought it May of this year. So this copy was $6.49 for me because of that $50 Best Buy gift card. And I actually have enjoyed it. I haven't played much of it recently just because I'm playing a lot of other games at the moment. But if you guys want, I can jump back into it and play it. And then we have the first Switch game I ever bought for Switch 2, that is. And that is Pokemon Legends ZA Switch 2 Edition. Oh, and that's not even in my list here. Um, uh, uh, so yeah, so I'm just finishing putting this in right now. So yeah, so this was brand new pre-order because I didn't want to miss out on pre-ordering it and getting a copy. So this is actually the first Switch 2 game I own. And actually, like I said, I'm just what do they consider? Oh, okay, so action role playing. Oh, actually, I can just do this here. Copy. There you go. So yeah, so now we will talk about all of the other Switch 2 games I have. So we'll start off with the top. Well, actually, we'll start off sort of near the bottom. Actually, we'll start off with the bottom and sort of work our way up. So the first Switch 2 game I own is Mario Kart World, because that came with my Switch 2 because I bought that bundle. And then I bought Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. But I already owned Breath of the Wild at the time, digitally. So all I had to do was just buy the upgrade to get it to the Switch 2 version. Then I do own Hogwarts Legacy twice. I own a Switch 1 version because it was a pretty good price at the time when I bought it digitally. And then I saw that the Switch 2 version was on sale, so I grabbed that as well. It was actually the deluxe edition, actually, for Switch 2. And then I grabbed I actually see a spelling mistake. Good thing I'm going back through this thing. Then I have Hollow Knight, Silksong, Kirby and the Forgotten Land. So that one I originally owned a Switch 1 version of, and then I was like, and then I ended up buying the Switch 2 version because I wanted the DLC and everything. That game was expensive. That game was more expensive than Pokemon Pokopia. Pokopia was $113, if memory serves me correct, whereas Kirby and the Forgotten Land was like over 120 with tax and everything. It was ridiculous. I do own No Man's Sky. Again, that was one of the ones I was sort of interested in. It does now have the Switch 2 version, or Switch 2 upgrade, or whatever you want to call it. And that one wasn't too bad in price. I can't remember exactly what I paid for it digitally. Then I have Dreamlight Valley. Again, that was one that I had on Switch 1. And then obviously when the Switch 2 version came out, it was a free upgrade. And then we have Pokemon Pokopia, which I just started playing within the last 48 hours or so. And that one is expensive. I'm enjoying it way more than I thought I was going to. And more than Animal Crossing. Because my problem with Animal Crossing is that your quote unquote villagers don't tell you what they need. Whereas with Pokemon Pokopia, you can find out what they need. Like, they give you requests and stuff. It's so much easier and so much nicer to know what the hell you need to do and do it. So, yes, the price is stupid at $113, which is the exact same as a physical copy of ZA or digital. So, yeah. So, those are all of sort of the obscure games that I have, plus some other stuff that I've ordered, and all of my current Switch 2 games that I have, both physically, digitally, and key card. And you might be wondering what's next. So right now, I am budgeting for an Xbox Series X, because the Xbox that I have right now, I actually have 3 Xboxes. I have 2 Xbox 360s, a North American one and a Japanese one, and then I have my Xbox One S. It's an all-digital one, which I've had since November 2019. So yeah, I've had it for quite a while. I've had it for quite a while, and I am looking right now at replacing it with the Series X. Even though it is hyper expensive, over $800. So we'll see if I can get the budget together. I know there's a few things that I'm budgeting for as well. But in terms of Switch games themselves, I am looking at getting. Where are they here? There it is. I think. Yes. I am looking at getting Gunvolt Chronicles X1 and X2 for Switch 2. But as well as another game which comes out in, I think, October. Sorry about that. I have a couple glasses on my desk, and they're glass. And the other game it's actually a double pack, and it's called Moochie Moochie Pork and Pink Sweets Boosted. And it is not it's a decent price. It's 75 bucks. But it doesn't come out until October 29th. So unfortunately, it is only um, um, sort of a limited edition, meaning that you have to buy it as a whole bundle, basically, where you can't um, just buy the game separately. Um, oh, actually, I'm mistaken. You can, but that is only from PlayAsia. And I'm looking at it right now, and it looks like it is only. If you want the Asia version, I believe no. If it is a Europe version, but basically, that's the only way to get English. So with it, you get the game. You get it's a reversible cover. You get a booklet, a double-sided poster, art cards, and a soundtrack CD while supplies last. So yeah, so it is not cheap. Like I said, it's like 75 bucks. It is also on PS5. So I might look at getting it on PS5 if I can avoid having to get the full bundle. But even, well, I'll have to get it as a bundle, which is kind of annoying. But yeah, we'll see if I pick that up. So if we add it to the order right now that I have with the ones that I mentioned, which is Gunvolt Chronicles Luminous Avenger IX plus the sequel, both other visual novels, so 9-Rip and 9-Rip sequel, we're looking at $275 right now, which is more than my budget right now that I have. So this stuff will change throughout the next few months, but that is everything that I'm sort of looking at the moment, plus the console and everything. So yeah, like I said, a little bit of a longer video. I wasn't thinking it was going to be around an hour and a half. I was thinking it was going to be maybe like an hour and 10, hour and 20, but it is what it is. And for some reason, I literally thought yesterday was Friday. And I was like, crap, I have to get to work. Well, today's Friday, so. Yeah, so I don't actually have to worry about any of that, which kind of is nice. But yeah, so that is sort of everything that I have sort of bought within the last little while as well. Like I said, with everything from Japan, including the Advanced SP. Like I said, this is the exact color that I had back in the day. And you were I'll actually show you the stand that I found. Give me a moment here. There we go. Yeah, so this is the stand. So it printed like this, basically. So basically how it fits is it takes the slot here, and you would put this into here. If I can, there we go. And it would rest. I don't want it to fall forward. It would rest on the back, so it would rest on this little piece up here, basically. So it would sit like that, basically. I'm sure. Yeah, so it would be like that. Oop. It's like that. So it looks like it's floating. But yeah. And you might be wondering, do you have something like that for your DS Lite? Sort of. I'll grab the one for the DS. This is the one that I use for the DS. And I do have to sort of clean up my desk so then I can have a couple of these things just sitting on my desk. But how this one sits, this one is actually pretty simple. So cut out here, and it would sit like that. So it sort of looks like it's floating-ish, but not really. Yeah, so I almost have one of every Nintendo generation, right? I have the 6th generation, which is the Advance SP, and then I have the DS Lite, which is what, 7th gen? 7th gen, yes. So I have 6, 7, and then the Switch 2, which is what, an 8th gen, I think? I think it's 8th gen. Is it 8th gen or 9th gen? Um, um, doesn't say. Um, um, yeah, it's 9th gen. So I had the Switch, which was um 8th gen, I believe it was. Yeah, well, 8/9th gen. So yeah, so almost every generation. um, yeah, there's still a few generations I'm missing. I'm missing 1st gen, 2nd gen, 3rd gen, and 4th gen, and 5th gen actually. But they're A, hard to find, and B, expensive. So, anyways, adios.